He thinks he's found the source of a new infestation. It's Dan the man on the hunt, saving our yard one rodent at a time. What'd you find, Danny? What'd you find in there, Danny? What is it, Danny? What is it? Morning, everybody. My name's Bill. This is Powered Solutions Forestry. Welcome back to the channel, and it is a cold November morning. Saturday morning. We have to get a little bit of milling done today. I need to slab these two cherry logs for Josko Katapovich for his future furniture making projects. Josko stickers and dries all his lumber himself. Takes it in raw form, breaks it down himself, and makes absolutely beautiful stuff. Hopefully someday we'll even get some video of some of the things that he makes. Maybe when we go down to drop this stuff off, along with his clear pitch pine stock for his new barn doors. He wanted some cherry from me. I've been looking for a while. Sometimes I get monster cherries in. I haven't got any in a while, but I got these two little twins from Ralph Alfieri's yard back a few weeks ago. You can watch that video when we went on that logging trip. And this one's got some big old spikes in it. And I mean big. Oh, this one actually moves a little bit. That's a good sign. They are huge. Josko asked me to please metal detect the crap out of these, because with one of his expensive machines, he hit a piece of metal in a piece of wood that we dropped off for him not long ago. I always, if I hit metal in the log, I always take out what I hit. This one case, I'm not really sure what happened, but he hit metal. I had seen these sticking out, so I had already planned on metal detecting the crap out of them, but we will make sure that these are metal free before we mill them. And our first job is to try to get these big old buggers out. So I'm going to take you along for the ride while trying to keep an eye on Danny, trying to stay warm. I don't think we'll mill them until a little bit later in the day here when it warms up a little bit. But for you guys, in the magic of video editing, that'll happen really quickly. So right now, let's see if we can pull this metal out. I'll try to give you a better view, get you a view of the metal, and then we'll roll these over. We'll detect the crap out of them, and hopefully that's all that's in them. So this is what we're up against here. I'll grab a hold of that to show you how big these are. These are pretty big spikes. I like the fact that so much of them is hanging out of the tree, because that leads me to believe that there's probably not a lot in there. And we hope that when we cut these, we're going to be cognizant of where these were. And hopefully we'll be able to remove a lot of this black staining, I think, that's going to be in this cherry. When we take the slab cut off, we'll try and take it off the side. We're up against a couple other challenges, but these are two of them. I think there's one more in this. And tree guys out there, if you see them, do this like somebody did when they saw these in the tree. That was really nice of somebody to do, so they stand out. It's really, really easy, guys, to miss little screws and nails and stuff like that at the log yard unless you metal detect everything like maybe I should, but I don't. But somebody pre-marked them and made them easy to see, and hopefully our goal is to not break them when we pull them out. Don't bend them, right? So we're not going to try to bend this straight. We're not going to try to bend that one straight. I always try to pull it out in the direction that it's bent. If it's bent like this, you don't want to break this off and then have to go digging to get them out. So when you pull this one out, pull it out in the direction of the bend. Same thing with that one. And then we'll flip them over and we'll see if we can detect these I'll show you what I use for a metal detector. It reads great. It reads very deep, and these are cheap. And that rhymed. There are some tricks and things like that to get metal out. But basically, when pulling stuff out that I can see, I only use a few methods. If it's a nail, I usually try to pull it out with this big pry bar, and this lives out at my mill table. If you try to do it with a hammer, what ends up happening most of the time, people will try to beat them on, with the claw part, and then try to pull them out. But a lot of times they've kind of rusted into the tree, and you don't have a lot of leverage in some, even with a big framing hammer like a 28-ounce S-wing. It can be hard to do it, and 9 times out of 10 you end up breaking them off. The one thing I like about this is the amount of leverage that I have when I'm pulling, and usually it allows me a controllable pull, like that. See if I can get that in frame there. One big old spike out. Hopefully the other one gives up the ghost that easy. And the good part about pulling that one out is that's telling me that there's about the same amount in the tree in this one. And I think it'll come out. Yep, came right out. Pretty big spike. I'm going to roll this thing over and see if I can see another one, because I thought there was a third one in here. Yep, I see one on the other side. You can see it sticking out. This one's way in it. This one's going to be tough. I'll show it to you. All right, let's see if we can stand it up with the big crowbar here before I have to go get a hammer to get it straight. I don't want to break it, but I need to straighten it up a little bit. That one's in there really good. If I try to pry back this way on it, I think I'll break it off. I'm going to try to kick it over and see if I can get it back on the other side. And maybe it'll give me a little more leverage. Better bite on it and use my weight. Boy, it's not moving. Don't get your face in front of this. If that thing breaks, you're going to knock yourself out. Oh, yes, it moved. Oh, nice. That's gold. I can't believe all that was in there and that came out of there without breaking. That's good stuff. Now what we got to do is we got to run the metal detector over this thing and see if we can find any more. This is a standard everyday Harbor Freight metal detector, and they work incredible. Oh, we'll double check it, make sure that it's working. Okay, we'll make sweeps all the way up and down it. We'll turn the, sensitivity's way up on it. So this would read really, really deep the way it is right now. I don't know if you can see over the forks over here, but I'm picking up the forks from like 8 inches away. Which is, I think, the one downside to these metal detectors, is that they read so deep, they'll pick stuff up way in the middle of the log. that you can go digging for hours and never find them. Let's do the top of this one too. We can roll them, hopefully both, and knock them both out. The other thing about turning the sensitivity up that can be a downside is that when you start detecting low on the side like this, you can pick stuff up in the ground. And we'll double check it on our spikes really quick. So I'm not detecting anything in these right now. We're going to turn it off. We're going to roll these both over and we'll check them again. Watch this. I bet I can pick something up in the ground over here. See that? That's something in the dirt. So you kind of have to be careful of that. This, I believe, was the section that was on top of this, sticking off that way. So there's a good chance there's nothing in it because it was too high. Oh. Sometimes it doesn't like being used upside down, and it'll give you those. I think the battery, when it's upside down, sometimes runs a weird connection thing and it'll make a false beep. You can tell the difference though on a real beep. All right, I think we're clean. Watch this. I'll pick up something in the dirt. Watch. That's in the dirt. So if you're detecting the side of this and you even get close to that, sometimes it'll pick that up too. But I have a lumber wand also that I've used for, oh my God, I've had it for years and years and years when I was back in my chainsaw milling days. But this Harbor Freight one, I think they're about 40 bucks. These things work great. You almost have to keep the sensitivity level all the way down. See how high this will pick up those forks with the sensitivity at almost at zero. Picks it up like 5 inches away. And that's one drawback that I found to it, is that you really don't know how deep the metal is in the log when it picks it up. So when it beeps, it's got this nice hole in the middle so you can go sideways, figure out where it is and mark it, and then you can go forward and backward, figure out where it is and mark it. And if you dig in, it's always right there. I've done videos on this, and it's really, really good at figuring out where the metal is, but it does read really deep. And sometimes you can dig and dig and dig, and it's way inside the log, and you're never going to dig deep enough to get it. Then you got to make a decision on whether you're going to mill it or not. It's a pretty straight log, but it does have a couple of little stress cracks, so we're going to try to slab it parallel to the stress cracks. This one looks like it's got a falling crack in it. That when they fell it, it cracked back into it a little bit. So I think we're going to mill parallel to that also. And it's got a chainsaw scar on it. We got to be careful of that. Josco does not need them in slabs. He'd take it if we just canted it out and cut them boards. But he doesn't mind breaking them down out of slabs. 9 times out of 10, he says to me, just slab it out at 2 inches thick. And if we can, because they're nice small logs like this, that's exactly what we're going to do. Right, Danny? You hunting for metal now, or are you still looking for mice? If you can find some metal, let me know. All right, let's get at it. All right, so let's see if we get the top taken off it and maybe one slab off it. And then we'll get the thing flipped over before I have to go to lunch here, which will mean nothing to you guys. Still running the same Stella Cut band. I know it gets old saying that, but still running the same Stella Cut band. Something weird about this log, it didn't want to push. I'm not really sure why. It's sitting kind of funny right now. I think I've got the biggest check in this thing perfectly parallel. So let's try it out. We're going to make our top cut at 15, and I'll give you a look at the wood. That cherry cut's easier than that spruce did yesterday. I'm going to take one board off it. We're going to drop down to 13 and take a 2-inch board off it right now. And then I'll give you a look at the wood. It's not that interesting right now. Looks like we got a real nice and parallel. It's a nice open face. That chainsaw scar is in this piece. So let's come down to 13 and take a 2-inch board off it. Then I'll give you a look at the wood. Then I got to go to lunch. The way this log's sitting right now, it's kind of sitting on a bump here and it's shaking a little bit. I'm just going to throw another stop in it real quick. Another clamp on it. See if it'll hold it a little more steady. You could see the way the log was shaking. It was causing a little bit of a funky cut. Cut out nice and flat. There are some ridges in it. Not ridges, not waves. Some ridges from the band because of the way that the log was vibrating while it was cutting, because it's up on this weird bump over here. I'll get my shadow out of the way there. So you can see those the little ridges left from the saw blade, the little lines, because of the way it was shaking. Now, look how bad it was here up until right here when I stopped, and then I put that clamp in it. And look at how much it changed when I put that clamp in it. It was still shaking a little bit, but nothing like it was right here. It's pretty amazing, actually. So pretty cherry, kind of figureless overall, which I think in the real world of furniture makers that want to break their stock down, that's probably best case scenario. They want it to be pretty straight. A little bit of cathedral grain coming up, obviously, because it's being flat sawn. And we're going to flip this thing over and then go meet a customer for lunch. And when I come back, which will only be seconds for you guys, we'll slab the rest of this out. All right, I'm back from lunch. Saw a bunch of cool people I haven't seen in a long time. I am missing the Notre Dame game right now, but we're going to finish milling this log. Then I got to get some firewood in the house because it's going to get crappy out. The weather is not cooperating with me this fall at all. We're going to finish this one up. We're not going to mill the other one today. I'm going to get the mill put away, covered, and everything, and then I'm going to go do some firewood, get the house loaded up with firewood before the rain comes, while trying to keep an eye on Danny. Danny, stay out here. He's the dog. He's crazy. What we're going to do on this is we're going to set our 8/4 scale. We're going to see where that's going to cut out on the top of this log. And if that's not going to be kind to us, then we're going to go on inch scale, and we'll just take a top cut and then just cut it inches down, covering 2s all the way down. And the reason that I say that is that if we put it on 8/4 scale and it tells me that my top cut needs to be way up here and it's only going to leave a sliver on the top, then to take a 2-inch slab is a waste of wood. We really need to clean the top up first, but we kind of want to do that with this overall thickness in mind so that we end up, with a usable slab down here on the bottom. The most sensible way to do it is to set 8/4 scale off the bunks so we end up with a 2-inch slab on the bottom, and then we'll see how the top comes out. But if the top's going to come out really thin, instead of doing 2 inches off the bottom, we'll do it on 2-inch marks. And that saves us 1/8 of an inch of kerf, bringing that top cut down. And we'll see how they all come out. The one over here that we have on the ground, I've got on sleepers right now, and it's really nice looking piece. So let's see how it comes out after I get Danny back in this yard. All right, so I'm going to rip off my magnetic scale here. We're going to go off my Norwood scale because it's already got an 8/4 off the bunk. And we're going to come down and we're going to see where the top of the log is. And we're going to see where that translates on the 8/4 side. This is a perfect example, actually, guys. This is going to barely take a skim cut. Oh, that's not bad. I think we'll do it on 8/4 scale all the way down. This is looks like a reasonable cut to give us a usable piece on top. So let's try it right here and see if we can just mill it on 8/4 scale all the way out. We are going to have to drop our stops at some point, but let's start right here. This is like 10.5. That was a really good opening face. It's going to leave us a nice usable slab below this. I'll show you some of the slabs as we get further down into this. There's a horrible crack in this. That stinks. There's a horrible crack in this lengthwise. Damn it. There's a horrible vertical crack coming through where they fell the tree. So, unfortunately, if I get it in the sunlight, it's going to be hard to see because of the sunlight. Oh, it's blowing my mill. You see this crack right here? It's ring shake. And it comes up in the top right here and it runs down all the way past my glove up into here. Hopefully you can see that shape right there. That stinks. And it's not going to get any better. So let's pull this slab off. Let's clean up the next one. Let's see how bad it is in the next one. Now, guys, you might say, well, why don't you do like a Robert Milton grade sawing on this? And to be honest with you guys, I don't think there's any good way around this ring shake right here. You didn't know how it was going to manifest. You didn't know how it was going to show up. And this crack goes all the way down into here. It comes back on the other side. I'm going to take another slab off this thing and see how bad it gets. Hope you guys could see that was actually interesting on that pass, and how bad the 10-degree band was trying to pull me into the cut there, and how it was starting to make the saw head shake. And instead of slowing down, I actually increased my speed to get rid of that shake, and these things are splitting. I'll show you. This is not good, guys. See the big split opening up right here? And there's a little bit of a cut, a little bit right there, but this is wicked. Now, if it stayed over here and it was only in the slab, it wouldn't be too bad. There's still a lot of good wood left here, but it really stinks. And you can see the damage from when they fell the tree. See the crack in it? There was a lot of stress in this when they fell this log. All we can do is cut it out and see how they come out. That was a good example right there on that cut about feeds and speeds, and how it did not like going slow. And then when I sped up, it cut way smoother. Oh, these are heavy. Big cracks in that. Let me check out this one. This is kind of a disaster right now. It's beautiful cherry with a bunch of cracks in it. It's a big crack coming in here. Big crack coming in here. This is not going to work out, guys. Beautiful down here. It's gorgeous wood down this end. I'm going to take a measurement quick, make sure my stops are low enough to burn another 2-inch piece off this. What Robert Milton would do on a piece like this for his business is that he would grade saw it. So he would have blasted it into a cant and then started taking pieces off based on tension and cracks. I don't know with this ring shake in it how that would work out. This just ends up being a low grade log. There's going to be usable wood in it for sure, but it's not great. This is not good. So we're at 6 1/4. We're going to come back. We'll take another 2-inch off. Then we're going to drop our stops. So like same thing as the other one. Looks like there's a lot of good wood down here, but up here, it's really fractured from this falling cut. It looks like we're past the checks now. There's no cracks in the bottom. Let me double check that and get this off. Now with Josco, the pith checks don't really matter because he's breaking them down anyway. So whether we cut the pith check out or whether he does is more up to him. Doesn't matter whether we cut the pith. Yeah, it's all pith checked all through here. So the pith is going to end up in the next slab. I'll show you what that looks like. So you can see this pith check that I'm following along right here. This pith in this log comes up in the middle like this. So it's lower over there, then it comes up into here and then goes back down out and comes back to where, I don't know if you can see it from here, but the pith is like an inch down there. And then when you come back on this end, the pith is like an inch down right there. These are going to all crack, every single one of them. So I'm going to drop my stops all the way down, re-grab this thing lower. We've only got one more cut in this. We're at 4 1/8. We're only going to come down to 2. And split this basically right in half. And it's going to be cracked to shit. Just the way it is. Now, can he get some usable material out to the sides of the pith? Yes. But it's not good. You can already see the crack opening up on that one right there. Now, there's a lot of good wood down through there, but God bless it. Damn it. All right, so we're going to take our final pass on this thing. Cut this into 2 8/4 pieces. And, you know, with the ring shake the way it was and everything, there was nothing we could do to avoid this. If we cut it the other way, we'd be getting it from the other way. It's just ugly. It's just an ugly, ugly, ugly piece. We'll drop all the way down to 2. Split it right in half. Do all this work to end up here. You see the check right here. This is probably one of the best pieces, aside from the first one. The rest of them are all going to have to be piecemealed together. I mean, this one's like almost cracked right in half through that pith mark there. He's going to be able to get pieces out of the sides, but it's just not a good log. It stinks. So let's wrap this up. I got to get Danny out of those freaking woods over there. Can you see him? Danny, come now. Hi, buddy. Hi. So, unfortunately, guys, that was a total disaster. I'll let Josh go see the boards and see what he thinks. The other log doesn't have the damage in it that one did from the falling and the ring shake. And hopefully the other one's going to cut out clean. But, you know, what are you going to say? It's what happens when you mill cherry sometimes. Cherry is just a strange beast. It loves to do what we just saw. That just kills me. It stinks. Just because I did so much work to recover that log and try to get him for him because he was looking for cherry and everything else. And it's not a good situation. But I have got to get some firewood in the house. We have a friend staying with us. We got to keep the house warm. I'm down to a few days worth of firewood in the house. I got to get more in there. Got to get this mill covered up because it's going to pour rain tonight. And this was one of those not good days. It's all that, you know, it's the only way you can, it's the only way you can say it. It's not a good day to have it come out like that. And I got to deliver it all to him, and hopefully he's going to get, you know, some usable pieces out of it, but really sucks. It's kind of depressing. We'll be back at it Monday. Tomorrow we gotta run some errands, and damn, it's just got me down. It's just down. It's just, you know, that log looks so beautiful. We got all the metal out. I thought it was gonna work out, and just didn't work out. Just not really good. So let me know what you think. Comment, thumbs up, thumbs down, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Uh, this one over here, he's doing his best to be good. He really is. When I call him, he comes right back. He knows when he's getting out of his bounds. But he's got his girlfriend here now living with him, and that she wears him out. And right now, to be honest with you, this has kind of got me worn out. I don't even want to look at the mill for a couple of days. Band cut great, mill cut great, but sucks. What else are you going to say? Pirate Solutions out. And then I knocked all the slabs off the back of my stack. You got to be kidding me. Unbelievable.